One fateful spring day in 1903, little Andy Euler practiced his swing and tried not to listen to the heckling fans of the opposing team, the St. Paul Saints.
Hey, Shorty, I bet you can't even hit it past the pitcher's mound. Yeah, my grandmother can hit it farther than you.
Andy wondered if maybe, just maybe, they were right. After all, he was the shortest player on his team, the Minneapolis Millers, and in the whole league.
Even worse, he just couldn't seem to get a hit, no matter how hard he tried. As a cold drizzle began to fall from the gray sky, little Andy Euler thought,
maybe it's time for me to quit.
The Minneapolis Millers trailed the St. Paul Saints by 3 runs.
They were down to their final out. The bases were loaded, and little Andy Euler was their only hope. But just as he stepped into the batter's box, it began to pour. Time out! Wait until the storm cloud passes!
But the rain kept coming, and within minutes the infield had turned to mud, and the field was spotted with puddles.
Finally, the umpire yelled, "Play on!" He was hoping for one quick out, and with little Andy Euler up, he knew the chances of that were good. Andy's cold hands trembled as he tightened his grip on the bat. Maloney took his lead off first.
Bring us home, kid.
Yeager stood ankle deep in a puddle just left of second base.
Just keep your eye on the ball.
Andy braced himself. Slugger McCreary wrung out his jersey at third.
And whatever you do, don't strike out.
The pitcher wound up and fired a fastball, but the wet ball slipped as it left his hand and went hurtling straight toward little Andy Euler's head.
Look out!
Yeager covered his eyes.
Just keep your eye on the ball. Duck!
And don't strike out.
Andy braced himself, but just when he expected the ball to hit him, he heard the unmistakable sound of a ball bent against a bat.
Crack!
Somehow Andy's bat had hit the ball. Everybody heard it,
but nobody saw where it went.
Little Andy Euler took off first. The catcher ran in circles around the home plate, ready to catch the ball when it fell from the sky. He popped it up and saw the ball go straight up.
He ran in circles around home plate, ready to catch the ball when it fell from the sky.
But it never did. I think it's in the puddle. I saw it land right here.
The catcher splashed and splashed, but still the ball was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Slugger McCreary strutted across home plate. The score was 3-1.
Euler stole the ball. Check his pockets.
Andy raced toward second, but the second baseman stood in his way.
Come here, you little thief.
The second baseman dove, but Andy took right over him. He rounded second and headed for third as Yeager slid safely home. The score was 3-2.
The pitcher screamed at the catcher, "What'd you do with the ball?"
"I didn't do anything. It just disappeared." As they were arguing, Maloney slipped between them and crossed home plate. The score was tied.
Andy tagged third and headed for home, but the muddy second baseman was hot on his trail.
I'm gonna get you.
With every step, the second baseman drew closer and closer. But just as he was ready to pounce on Andy,
he tripped and fell face down in the mud.
Little Andy Euler crossed home plate with the winning run.
The Millers manager yelled at the Saints manager. We scored 4 runs. We win.
The Saints manager shouted at the Millers manager.
It doesn't count. Nobody knows where the ball went.
I tripped on a rock and I twisted my ankle.
The umpire scratched his head.
There weren't any rocks when they raked the field this morning.
Oh yeah? Then what's this?
The umpire grabbed the ball for the second baseman's hand.
Fair ball, the Millers win.
The Millers jumped for joy,
The fans rushed the field.
and everyone crowded on little Andy Euler, the big hero of Minneapolis.
Even though his home run traveled only a few feet in front of his home plate, it seemed to break Andy Euler out of his big stump. He had 3 hits the next day, and by the end of the season, he was one of the Minneapolis Millers' best players. The St. Paul Saints fans kept making fun of Andy for being short, but it didn't bother him one bit. He knew that he didn't have to hit the ball far over the fence to help his team. He just had to play hard and have fun. And what Andy Euler did. Even on days he couldn't seem to get a hit, no matter how hard he tried. Andy loved playing for the Millers, and the fans at Nicollet Park loved watching him play. Andy Euler never did hit another home run, but while other records have come and gone, no other player has come close to doing what he did on that Monday day back in 1903 when the shortest player in the league became a hero by hitting the shortest home run in baseball history.